This is the plaintiff, LaTanya Patton. She says she gave her daughter, the defendant, money for a trip they were going to take to Tennessee. And she gave the money to her boyfriend, who spent it on himself instead of using it for their trip. The freeloader also borrowed money from her, never paid her back. And today, daughter or no daughter, she's suing for the return of the $95.50 she's owed. These are the defendants, Dominic and Taquita. Dominic says the plaintiff, his girlfriend's mother, gave them the money for their trip as a gift, and now that they're fighting, she's trying to turn it into a loan. Bottom line, he can't believe this woman's dragged them into court today because he let her live with them rent-free, and she should be ashamed of herself. They're accused of stealing from Mom.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Ms. Patton, you are suing your daughter and her boyfriend for $95.50. Some of that trip money that was supposed to be a gift but never got to the person who was organizing the trip, according to you, and the rest of it a loan that you made to the boyfriend. What happened? Because you were all one big happy family a short time ago. What happened?
A few months before I gave the money to my daughter told me that she didn't respect me. So on August the 4th, I told my daughter that I would pay her and Dominic's portion to go to Tennessee.
That she didn't respect you?
Yeah.
Why?
She didn't say why. She just said she didn't respect me.
So then why would you, I mean, you don't ask your daughter, why are you saying such a thing?
No, because that's how she is. She say all kinds of stuff to me.
Okay, but you moved in with them?
Yeah.
When did you move in with them?
August the 1st.
Okay.
Of 2017.
Before or after she said, I don't respect you, according to you? You don't remember?
I don't remember.
Don't look to her for the answer. You're suing her. All right, so you move in with them, so you buy them a trip?
No, I didn't buy them a trip.
Okay.
Taquita had planned for us to go to Tennessee for my mom's birthday. Taquita, my daughter.
That's how you pronounce it? Taquita?
Yes, ma'am, Taquita.
Okay.
A portion of that was supposed to be paid in November because my mom covered it. But I told Taquita that I didn't want to owe my mom in November. I wanted to pay it now. So she got all the money I needed to pay for the trip because I had to work that Saturday. And she gave Dominic the money to take to my mom.
Okay, how much money are we talking about? $55?
$55.
All right, and the $55 was supposed to cover whose trip?
It was supposed to cover the portion.
The down payment on a trip?
No, not the down payment. 2 people decided not to come. So we had to split that money between the adults that was going. And each portion was going to be $18.50. So I decided to cover their portion.
As a gift?
No, not as a gift, just to cover
Never as a gift?
I never said it was a gift. I just said I would cover it.
Well, did you say they had to pay you back?
Before he gave my mom the money on the 28th of October, because I told him I wanted all my money back. And I told him I want my $55.50 back too, because he thought I was just talking about the $40. No, I want all my money back.
Okay, so the $40 that you loaned Dominic was for what?
They was going to Tennessee for his birthday weekend, and I was going to get his air conditioner in his car charged because my grandson has sickle cell, so it needed to be cool in the car. So he asked me if I could loan him the $40 until Friday when his dad gave him the money, and he was going to give it to me back.
So you loaned him $40 so that he can get his air conditioning fixed. Mm-hmm. And he's supposed to pay you that back.
On that Friday.
Okay. Now, what happened? How long were you living with them?
I lived with them from August until October 16th.
Okay. Let me hear from you first, Taquita.
Yes, ma'am. She moved in at the end of July. Me and my aunt were planning a trip for my grandmother's 70th birthday to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. And after we had all decided, because she was not at that meeting, we decided, and there was no due date, that we were going to pay my grandmother because she decided that she was going to front all of the money for the rest of what we didn't have. That $18.50 for all the rest of the adults that were going.
Grandma said that.
Right, yes, ma'am.
And Grandma's her mother?
Her mother, yes, ma'am, my grandmother.
Does she know you all are here?
Yes, ma'am.
How's she feel about it?
She's not happy.
Okay, go on.
And so we all signed a paper with the exception of her and one other lady because they weren't there. saying that we were going to pay my grandmother $1,850. All the people that were
That was
deciding to go.
supposed to take care of the deficit of the 2 people.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go on.
She said, hey, you know, I hadn't paid any bills. I'm staying here. You guys can, I'm going to give you this $1,850. I'll front your guys's, which was only the $37 was covering us. The other $1,850 was hers.
And according to you, they're supposed to pay back the $55? Because in your complaint, you say they were struggling, so I thought I'd pay for their portion.
Quita was complaining about not having any money, and Dominic never had extra money. So when she gave him my money and he spent it, he told her that he thought it was extra money. And I don't understand how he thought it was extra money coming from 5 minutes away from the house, because they only live 5 minutes away from my mother.
Okay, so what did you do with the, what happened to the money? Why didn't you leave the money with Grandma?
It was a while ago. I don't remember what I spent it on, but we did.
You spent it on the way to grandmother's house?
No, I didn't. But I did spend it. But
what's wrong with you? Why didn't you give it to grandmother?
I didn't go to the bank and get it. It was in my card. We use the Cash App, and she sent it to me that way. I didn't go to the bank. But we decided.
So wait a minute. So who used the Cash App? Mom?
Taquita.
We did.
So Taquita sent
They had
this is fascinating, over 90-something dollars. So Taquita sent $55 on a Cash App to your bank account?
Correct.
No,
they had
she sent $153.50, because my total amount that I was supposed to pay for the rest of the trip. She sent all that to his.
That's not true.
Okay.
That's incorrect.
And then what'd you do with the money? Where did the $55 end up? Did you eventually pay it?
We didn't pay it to her. We paid it to my grandmother.
Okay, I need you to put a whole button on that.
Ma'am, hold on 1 second, please. Thank you.
My grandmother did receive it. I have not only a text message from my grandmother, but I wrote 37 of it in a check. He did spend the money.
Okay.
Now, the 4 of us, my mother, my grandmother, Dominic, and I, then sat in August in my grandmother's kitchen and decided, you know, hey, Dominic, you spent that money. You need to come up with that.
Do you understand that you have caused this turmoil over $55 between mother and daughter and grandmother? Like, you know, I mean...
Yeah.
Isn't this ridiculous?
I know it was my fault, but like she was saying at the end of the day, we
because
sat down.
they didn't just suddenly wake up one morning like this. Like, you know what I'm saying?
She
like
did. She woke up one morning like this. She said nothing. We all sat down and had a conversation about this in August.
But yeah, but she's your mother. You've known her your whole life. This can't be like the first time she's wigged out over $50.
No, this is not the first time.
Okay, so you know how she is, and so why would you turn around and like, you know that there's perhaps like a quick trigger. So why would you turn around and not give the money to Grandma? Did you end up going on the trip?
We did.
Everybody?
Everyone.
Did everybody have a good time, or you and your mother not talking to each other?
We didn't. We weren't speaking.
You didn't speak on the trip.
Blast.
So you two did not speak on the trip?
Not at all.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, if you have a child disrespects you, doesn't repay the money, would you sue that child?
No, I wouldn't. I've never had to sue anybody in my life, although it would be a good lesson for them. But if your child ain't paying you back, you haven't done a good job raising your child.
What do you say?
If it were a substantial amount of money, maybe, but I don't think it's something that should be handled in the court.
What do you say?
It really depends on the situation, you know.
What do you mean?
If it's time to learn that lesson, it depends on the child and the relationship between the parent and the child.
Okay, fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
How did Grandma feel about that?
She cried. She did. And I felt bad about that because I wasn't
Can
going.
I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
We're talking about $95. Over $95, you sue your daughter and you ruin a trip?
I didn't ruin. I had a blast. I said.
Oh, well,
I had
that's
a
the only
blast.
important thing, is that you have fun.
No, my mom said the only time she didn't enjoy the trip was when they tried to put me out of my room and I wasn't having it.
What are you talking about?
Originally,
What really happened here? What is the reason why she's so angry?
The reason she's suing me, and she said nothing about this money, Judge, until October, is because, like she said, my son has sickle cell disease. He was admitted into the hospital in early October. He had a blood transfusion and he had a virus. He was there for an entire week. She stayed at my house the entire time. We stayed at the hospital. When we got to the emergency room in October, and that's why she said nothing until October, because now she's upset with me about it.
Over what?
When we got to the emergency room at the Children's Hospital, only 2 adults are allowed in the ER at a time.
Right.
I called her and said, hey, they're admitting into the hospital, but don't come yet. He's going to get a room. You can't come back here now, but when he gets a room, you can come up here and be here as long as you want. She got upset because she came anyway, and we didn't leave the ER. We stayed back there with our child. So she got mad.
Wait, hold on one second, because I've been in a lot of ERs. Why didn't you just switch and let her come in and just see her grandkids?
Because I told her ahead of time not to even bother.
I know, but when she's there already, why don't you just...
Well, I felt uncomfortable asking Dominic hey, can you leave? I know it's your son, but can you leave?
Go to the bank and get $55. Do your errands. Do something like we're talking about 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Well, we didn't even know she was upset about that.
Or did she want to stay there the whole time? Like, I don't know what
I don't know. Honestly, Judge, I don't know. At the time she was
I'm trying to imagine if my child is in the hospital and my mother comes to visit, how I don't walk outside and have a cup of coffee or something so my mother can visit for a minute.
I told her ahead of time.
Yeah.
She wasn't even there.
Y'all have other baggage.
You're right.
Because $95 isn't worth this. And walking out for 15, 20 minutes isn't worth this. So there's some other baggage going on here. All righty then. According to you guys, the $55.50 for the trip money was paid to Grandma eventually, and it was supposed to be a gift, correct?
It was.
No.
And according to you, the $40 loan is owed.
Correct.
Why haven't you paid it? You're in court. Why wouldn't you have paid it already?
Because if I would have paid it before we came here, she still would have said that she didn't get it.
Why? All you have to do is send it in a way like, I don't know, in a way that would have a record, like a check, or get a receipt or something. All right. As for the $40 loan, where you are suing Taquita, the lawsuit against Taquita is dismissed. You didn't loan her $40. You loaned Dominic, and I'm finding in your favor on the $40. As to the $55.50 trip money, when I see a sentence that says they were struggling, so I thought I'd pay for their portion, that doesn't sound like a loan. And it seems to me like this, what it starts off as is what it is. And that appears very clearly to me to have been a gift. So I'm not going to order that repaid. $40 verdict for the plaintiff from the defendant, Dominic. Good luck, folks.
So the plaintiff who sued for $95.50 gets $40 back from you, Dominic. You're going to finally have to give her the money. You okay with that?
I'm okay with it. It wasn't a loan. It was for a birthday gift, and I said, if you want, I'll give it back to you. So I had never had a problem with giving her the money.
She considered that you did owe the money, and the judge agrees. The more important thing here is what happens to this relationship between the two of you and your mom. I mean, what's it like?
As far as I'm concerned, it's done. I'm okay with that.
Come on. Are you serious? You don't, I mean, has this been going on for a long, long time between you?
25 years.
Really?
Yes, sir.
So you don't see, obviously this is not going to help the situation any.
No, it's not, but I'm okay.
Well, that's such a shame. I'm sorry to hear about that. Thank you very much. Okay. Let me ask Miss Patton herself. Ma'am, what do you feel about that? Obviously, you've had a rough go with your daughter over the years, and finally you file a lawsuit against her. This isn't going to help matters any, is it?
I agree with her. Where is it done?
Do you feel sad about that?
I feel sad for my grandson.
Obviously, I'm sure of that, because you're not going to have any contact with him then, really.
Well, she just allowed me to talk to him a couple of days ago, so.
So you're hoping for better things, maybe.
I would like so, yeah. But I doubt
well, I don't know. The lawsuit isn't going to help the situation. Everybody knows that, okay? And so I'm sorry about that, but hey, great, you won $40 in court. All right. Thank you. Harvey?
Okay, just so you know, there is a presumption whenever money changes hands that the presumption is that it's a loan, and the other person has to present clear evidence, the person who gets the money, clear evidence that it was otherwise, that it was a gift. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.